Good afternoon. How are y'all? I thought I'd make a cooking video. I've been told I should. Not that I'm fantastic, but food has everything to do with what I'm about. And so, why not? I don't believe in rain dances, but making a stew or a chili or a soup or something when fake fall comes around is probably the closest thing I'm going to get to it. Because I'm like, hey, don't you want to stay? I made you some soup. I made you some chili. Please stay and be cool and cold for me. I like cool and cold, okay? That's very whatever you want to think of it, but you can put on more layers when it's cold outside, and you can only take off so much when it gets hot. So that's why I like it cool and it's cozy. So today I'm making my version of my grandmother's chicken stew. Hers is very involved, and I've simplified it for my crazy life. Anyway, and in honor, I'm wearing the apron that she made for my granddaddy's overalls. So, isn't that cute? So, here we go. First, you're going to need you a chicken. A whole chicken. You're going to roast it yourself. More power to you. You want to do that? That's fine. But you know what I'm doing? I'm tearing up a rotisserie chicken I got from Walmart. Down at the Walmarts, that's right. It's good. If you haven't had one, it's good. Costco chicken, Sam's chicken, wherever you get your chicken, you know it's good. Don't tell me you haven't gotten one and almost ate the whole thing before you got home. They're good. Next, I do about 10 to 12 of these cute little yellow potatoes, and I just dice them up and I throw them in there. I throw them in the pot. Now that I got all my potatoes in my pot, I'm going to dice up an onion and put it in there. And I typically like to caramelize my onions anytime I'm cooking them. But today, I'm just chopping it up and chunking it in. I wasn't lying when I said that my grandmother's chicken stew is very involved. She would roast the chicken herself, and her potatoes and all her things came from her garden. And this is another thing that came from her garden was a corn. And she'd put some whole corn in there and cream up some corn. But I'm doing 1 whole can of whole kernel corn and 1 can of cream corn. And I am dumping it in the pot. I didn't even drain the kernel corn. Just dump it in there. Get in there. Next is a whole can of tomato paste. And I open it both ends and I push it out. This ingredient is a bit of a head scratcher for some people, and it's a little controversial. It was, at least according to my cousin Jordan, when he saw my chicken stew one time. And it's 4 cups of tomato juice, but the only tomato juice I ever saw in my grandmother's house was V8. So I put 4 cups of V8 in this chicken stew. All right, this is how my chicken stew is looking. I'm going to let it sit for a couple hours on low. I have added salt and pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of smoked paprika. It was only a little bit because I only had a little bit left, but I'm going to let this sit for a few hours on low in my slow cooker. Be good and ready for supper. I'm going to serve it with some saltines and slices of block cheddar cheese, and it's so good.